All right, fellas, welcome back to another offensive install. This is offensive install number 2. Just going to run through very, very quickly the formations that'll be important in today, since we're not going to be able to meet per se prior to us going out in the field. We are going to do a walkthrough and go through these, but I feel like if I go through them now, I'm hoping that we'll get more out of that walkthrough period with guys already having the information that's needed to line up or align properly during that period or that walkthrough. So that's kind of what I'm going to do in this video here. Also, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the practice plan and what it is that we hope to accomplish with the hour and 20 minutes that we have. So I'm going to share my screen, make sure it's sharing the entire deal. Okay. I sent this out to you guys earlier today. For those folks who are following along, this is what went out today with regard to the offensive install for the practice plan and all of the offensive scripts that will be implemented during today's practice. Okay, so we will have a walkthrough on the field. As I said, I'm going to try to expedite the formations and stuff that will be introduced during that walkthrough in this video. Post-practice, we're supposed to have a meeting today. If we have film, I guess that would be the idea, to look at some of the stuff that gets recorded during today's practice. If not, then we'll probably go over some stuff with you with regard to reinforcing mistakes that we see today real time, or we'll start to put together the idea for the next offensive install during that time. Or maybe we don't meet at all. It all depends. So it will be to be determined. Today's formations are eagle right, eagle left, flip eagle right, flip eagle left. All right, which is basically taking two guys and that we're on and moving them off and going in that direction, just to give us a little bit more versatility to still be able to run the same concepts, run schemes, and passing concepts that we already have. The run concept for today, or the run play for today, that we're adding is Sarah and Sally, which is our buck sweep play. We're also going to add some tags to our inside zone read or inside zone play, Zorro and Zelda. The tags that'll be added today will be cap, which is our tight end coming across the formation opposite the run play, or the opposite the call. So if it's Zelda, he's going to line up and come across the formation and kick out the C gap defender from the left side of the formation to the right. So the offensive line will block Zelda, and he's going to come across and he's going to, let's say if it's Zelda and he's on the left. So I always say pull right, hit right, because that means I'm going to be hitting with my right shoulder. If it's pull right, I'm pulling my right foot. I'm going to hit with my right shoulder. So pull right, hit right. If it's the opposite way and it's Zorro and he's on the right-hand side, it's going to be basically pull left, hit left. Okay. So that we can dig that C-gap defender out from inside out, and he can't run underneath us and make the tackle. So that's the tags. The tag today would be cap. That's cap. Slice is he's going to do the same thing, except now he's not going to block that C-gap defender. He's going to avoid him. All right, kind of like a bluff, and then he's going to go out and run his diagonal. So if he's slicing, that means the run again is going, and it looks like cap, but he's going to avoid and he's going to run his diagonal route at about 3 yards. And then if we put him on the same side, and as opposed to him coming across the formation, and we run, let's say he's on the right side of the formation, and we're in that situation where he's like the tight end to the right and he's off the ball or he's on the ball, whatever it may be, the offensive line will block the run play or the inside zone play to one side, to that direction, left or right, and he'll be on the same side. He'll be on the right. Let's say he's on the right, and we're blocking Zelda. He's now going to run a diagonal from the back side, where he doesn't have to come across the formation. He's going to be on the same side, which is another one of our tags. The screen technically would be a diagonal, because that is a screen, and we're going to be going back over force, which is our fast screen to our outside receiver, whether it's an X, whether it's a Y, if we're in a different formation, or it could be the F, where the Y is inside of him, and Now the Y's coming flat for 5 and blocking the man over top of the number one receiver. All right, our RPO we have attached would be slope and then also Y diagonal. That's post snap. Quick game, we're adding Maserati, which is our mesh play that we've talked about and we've gone over before we went on the blackout period. So we'll be going over Maserati today. We will have the Maserati drill. So if you don't know what Maserati drill is, you better refresh yourself in that video. Quick game stuff will reinforce slope, which is our double slant, and we're going to be adding spout today, which is fade by number 1, 5-yard speed cut roughly by our number 2 receiver. All right, so that's a speed out. Drop back stuff was delta is our delta concept, which is our curl flat, where we have our receiver who's going to stem. We call it a burst release, where he's going to lose 2. He's going to push to 12 and come back to 10, and then we'll have somebody in the flat. Protection for the offensive line is the same. 5-man protection is Roger or Lordi. We're hour 20 minutes today. Pre-practice stuff we're going to go through like we normally do with settle new stuff because we are running Maserati drill today. Quarterbacks, you can be working on throwing the ball into the garbage can, getting that going during pre-practice. You could also be working with the Z or the F at the top of the route on the speed cut so that he doesn't have to run the entire speed cut, but he could be at the top of the route and he could work his last 3 steps, which is the break line drive part of it, and then chin to rear shoulder to catch the ball. You guys could be working on that stuff because we're going to run that today, which is a huge part of the Maserati play. Again, we don't run Maserati to throw the mesh part of it. We run it to run. We run the play to throw the speed out. Okay. All right. So that's that. Then we'll go into a stretch for 5 minutes. We have a walkthrough, which I'm going to talk about the formations that are going to be added. That's going to be in this period right here where we'll go over that stuff. Then we're going to go into a team tempo period on air with the first team up first. And then the second team guys, and you need to see the depth chart, which I put up there earlier for you today. So you have to look at the depth chart, know where you stand. If you're going with group 1, you go with group 1. If you're going with group 2, you go with group 2. And it'll be 7 plays and 7 plays. We're not going to make you guys go too crazy. We're pretty much have scripted the plays where we're going to run certain plays from the right hash and certain plays from the left hash to make things a little bit easier in that regard. So we'll have that. And then after team tempo period, we'll have individual offensive line running backs. We'll go together. And you guys, running backs are working on footwork, and the offensive line will go through their run progression stuff for Zorro and Zelda, and also for Sarah and Sally. Inside wide receivers and outside wide receivers, okay, you guys will be with me. Younger guys are supposed to be going into your defensive positions with Coach Kelleher, Coach Bailey, and Coach Jones. And those guys that are on the depth chart at the 1s and the 2s, you'll be with Coach Wiggs and I, and we're going to be working on our speed cuts because we're running Maserati today. We're going to be working on our 45 cuts because that's our drop back concept today. So for the curls, and then we're going to work a 4-cone drill for the force blocking so that we're getting our guys are taking the proper steps to get where they got to go. We'll get some blocking involved. We'll work on a guy getting the ball, catching the ball, and then getting inside of that block and back outside the numbers and up the field. So we have that. Then we'll move into a mesh drill. With the mesh drill, the quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers will work both sides of the field in 2 groups. And the reinforcement, again, for the drill is going to be for Zorro and Zelda. All right, with the force and outlaw part of it with the RPO stuff, that will be going away from the run. All right, so if it's Sarah, right, we'll have the outlaw or force away. So on the left side of the field, those receivers will be working on those 2 things. And then the opposite side of the field will be working on Sally. And then the same thing, outlaw or force away from the run. Okay. So we'll have that going on simultaneously. And that's kind of what that mesh drill is. And if you don't know what it is, again, make sure you familiarize yourself with the previous videos that talk about how we set up for mesh drill. Okay. 4:55 to 5:05 inside run period. Quarterbacks, there'll be 2 running backs that'll be with the inside offensive line guys, okay? And there'll be 1 tight end that's going to be split. So that 1 tight end will go down for 5 minutes. And then the other tight end will be with me, and then they're going to flip-flop it. All right, if you're not a part of the inside run period. We're going to have, during the inside run period, at the same time, simultaneously, routes on air will be going, and we're going to work the Maserati drill. We're going to work slope. We're going to work spout, and we're going to work delta. Okay, so we'll have our lines up, and we'll work the Maserati drill, where we'll have two coaches dictating whether it's zone or man. Again, you watch the guy that's over top of the coach as you're coming across. The Y is watching the guy that's over top of the F. The F is watching the guy that's over top of the Y. Okay, as you guys are coming through and you're slapping tight left hands with each other, with the Y setting over the top and the F coming underneath at roughly 3. But again, the Y sets the mesh at 6 yards or less. And you guys cannot settle down if it's zone until after you've slapped 5. Again, you're watching what what the stimulus is. Whether it's man, you're going to continue to run, so you'd yell money, money, money. If it's zone, you'll yell zebra, 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 and then you're going to settle up, and the quarterback can throw you the ball to the upfield shoulder, the away shoulder, based on where the defender's lined up coverage-wise, so that you can catch the ball, tuck it, drop step, and get up the field. So that will be that period, along with slope, spout, and delta, as I said. And then from 5:05 to 5:15, we have a 7-on-7 period. And during that time, the offensive line will be with Coach Dom. You guys will be going through your pass protection stuff. It's a pass period. Wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs. We're going to be doing a 7-on-7 against our defense. And the 7-on-7 script is here that you guys can go ahead and look at it. And then we're going to end practice today with a team offense. We have a script that we're going off of, and that team offensive period script is this one right here. All right, so you can look at what it is that we're going to be running during team offense, and it's going to be versus our defense. Defensive line and linebackers, you'll need shields for that, and defensive backs, you won't need that. So that's basically today's practice in a nutshell. Now, what I'm going to do is go into my just play, and I'm going to talk about the walkthrough and the formations that we're adding. We're adding 4 new formations today. They're more of a condensed type of look. So we'll start with eagle right. Okay, so basically what we're looking at is eagle right. Again, the way that we orchestrate or orient our offense is dictated on the direction of where we place our Y and the F, because 9 times out of 10, the Y and the F travel together and the X and the Z travel together. And so if it's eagle right, okay, we're putting the F on outside. We're putting the Y in a wing position, 1 by 1 off of the offensive tackle. We're putting the X outside on the ball, with the Z basically splitting the difference between the X and the end man on the line of scrimmage. Okay. Now, based on where the ball is here, okay, to condense the set, the ball is basically on the left hash. We're putting the F on the hash itself. Okay. And then basically what we're doing with the X is we're condensing him and basically putting him between the left hash, splitting the difference between the left hash and the top of the numbers. Okay. So that's eagle right. All right. Now look at it when it's flipped. Okay. We'll go eagle left. All right. Eagle left. We're just flipping it. So now if the ball's here closer to the left hash, F splitting the difference between the top of the numbers and the end man on the line of scrimmage. The tight end is 1 by 1 off of the tackle in a wing position. Okay. The X is on the hash, and we're putting the Z, splitting the difference between the end man on the line of scrimmage and the number 1 receiver. Okay. So that's eagle left, and I just went over eagle right. And lastly, here, the last 2 formations is flipping it. So now, if we go into flip eagle right, what happens is we're now taking the Y who was in the wing. Okay. We're putting him on the ball inside, still in a condensed formation. We're just now taking the F and putting the F off the ball outside of him. So now the tight end's going to ask me, okay, well, coach, how far away should I be from the tackle? So we're going to put you in something called a nasty split. Like when we put that black formation in, we had you at about 3 yards. No, I'm sorry. Not 3 yards. Not 3 yards. I'll rephrase that. 3 feet roughly from the offensive tackle. So it's a 3-foot split removed from the offensive tackle. Okay, where you'll be down you'll be down. I think you're going to be in a 2-point stance. Okay. But you're going to be 3 feet from the offensive tackle. Okay. And the F is going to be off the ball just outside of you. And we're going to try to put you on the hash if the ball is closer to the left hash. Okay. We're going to put you off the ball outside of the Y. All right. On the hash. X receiver. Basically, what we're going to do with you is we're condensing you, but we don't want to condense you too far where you get caught up in some traffic. So what we're going to do with you is if the ball is closer to the left hash, we're going to have you split the difference between the top of the numbers and the hash on the ball. And then the Z, what we're going to do with you is you're going to be off the ball outside of the X. And we're going to say with you, you're going to split the difference between the top of the numbers, okay, and basically the X receiver. So you'll look here at the top of the numbers when the ball's closer to this hash. You'll find the top of the numbers. You'll find the X receiver, and basically we can play with your alignment here where you'll split the difference between the top of the numbers and this X receiver. But the X receiver really, really, really needs to pay attention to detail here. And he needs to align properly so that you can get your alignment. And so basically, that's kind of how we're going to do it. So if you flip-flop it, the X is going to have to look. You're going to have to get set first, okay? Because normally what we do is the outside receiver, this guy usually midpoints the outside receiver or number 1 receiver and the end middle line of scrimmage. So the Z is going to have to find the top of the numbers. Okay, I'll rephrase. The Z is going to have to find the top of the numbers and the hash, okay? And he's going to have to try and get himself in a position where he can align, and then you can align, splitting the difference between him and the end man in the line of scrimmage, except the only difference is you're going to be on the football. So that's flip eagle right. Okay, let's get out of that, and then we'll go flip eagle left to show you here real quick. Flip eagle left. We're going to edit this. All right, it's just the same thing, just reversed. Okay, so we're putting the Y in a nasty split to the left. All right, so 3 feet from the offensive tackle on the ball. The F is going to be off the ball outside. And if it's closer to this hash, he's going to split the difference between the top of the numbers and the Y. Okay, so here and here. He's going to try to midpoint it so we condense you. All right, a little tighter set or formation. And then again, the X. The Z is going to have to find the top of the numbers. He's going to have to find the hash. All right, we want the space out here. Okay, so basically what he's going to do is he's going to look at you. Okay, and he's going to try to align outside of you. All right, in a position where once you get set, the X gets set, he can see where your alignment is, and then we can get that midpoint between the end man and the line of scrimmage and the Z. So we have all this space out here. So that's flip eagle left, and those are the formations today. We have eagle right, eagle left, and we have flip eagle left and flip eagle right, again, which basically takes 2 guys that were on the ball and puts them off the ball, and vice versa. So that's pretty much, how that's going to work. All right. It just dictates who's on and who's off in between, between those 2 formations. So again, hope you guys got something out of this. Hope this is helpful. This is what we're up to today with regard to offensive installation. Please make sure you look at this stuff, guys, before we go out to the field, as it is extremely, extremely important. It doesn't take long to watch a video and fast forward through and cut to the chase. All right. So again, hopefully this is informative, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, Coach C, peace out.